All right, everyone. I'm back here to talk about the Sam Darnold, JJ McCarthy, Minnesota Vikings. What do you do situation? Because I don't think it's all that complicated. People are going crazy. They're like, Sam Darnold's going to get so much money, $50 million, and these long term deals. Then there's the other conversations. The Vikings should trade JJ McCarthy. Oh my God. People need to stop and relax. First of all, there's still 2 more weeks in the season. The Vikings then are going to be in the playoffs. They need to play their playoff games. What happens if Sam Darnold goes out there in the first game of the playoffs and throws 3 picks and has 1 touchdown? Is this the same conversation? No. So people need to calm down and stop getting ahead of it. But I can tell you this much: no matter what happens, that you do not trade JJ McCarthy. Not right now. What's the rush? Why would you do that after 1 year, his rookie year, which is pretty much a red shirt year, because he's been injured and on IR the whole season. So he hasn't even practiced. He hasn't really done much with the team. So it's just outrageous to me, for one, people to be throwing out there the idea that you trade him and move forward with Sam Darnold. Even if you keep Sam Darnold, why are you going to trade him? Keep him as your backup. Let him get healthy. He can play in the preseason. He can be the backup. If Darnold gets hurt, God forbid, he can jump in there, and then you see what you got with him. And ultimately, he still can be your quarterback of the future. And if Sam Darnold next year balls out like this again and plays top 5 quarterback like he's doing so far this season, then you can entertain that conversation next season. And again, it all depends on what you do with Sam Darnold. So what do you do with Sam Darnold? You just franchise tag him. It is that simple. First of all, when the season ends, you let him know, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you the franchise tag. It's expected to be around $40 million next year. So it's not top tier quarterback. Like, it's not like the $50 million deals that are out there that are crazy, but it's going to be in the 40s. It's still pretty expensive. And at the end of the day, you take it, because if he continues playing like this is what you ultimately want JJ McCarthy to be. You look at the numbers that Sam Darnold has put up this year, the way he's come through in the clutch. This is what, if JJ McCarthy became this, you would be very happy. So you give Sam Darnold another prove-it year, so you also can take a little longer to decide what you do with McCarthy and see how he recovers from his knee surgery. Again, it's not that complicated. You're not gonna you better not let him just walk out the building for nothing. And even if he does walk out the building for nothing, you're still gonna get a compensatory pick for him, which is probably gonna be a third rounder. So it's not much, obviously, considering the type of player that's leaving, walking out the door. But if you get a second or third round pick for him just leaving, that's still a win on a guy that you signed for $10 million. But at the end of the day, obviously, when you look at the production he's been putting up, it's not going to be a win. That would be like a loss to just let him walk out for nothing. That's why you franchise tag him, because you can also franchise tag him and then trade him. And the team that's desperate will give up at least a second round pick for him and some other stuff. So it's a no-brainer to me. You don't even give him the 3-year, $100 million deal. Why? So if you give him a 3-year, $100 million deal, you're going to be paying him 30-something million a year. Just pay him the 40 for the first year, overpay a little bit, but maintain your flexibility. That's the best option that you could do. And the flexibility could be that you could trade him. If you see McCarthy playing well again in the preseason, like he did in the last preseason, and healthy, and there's always a quarterback injury here and there in camp, and then the team gets desperate and offers you a first-round pick, and and you trust that you got McCarthy ready to go, all right, then you do it then. But I don't think it's that complicated. And I just think that all these overreactions and people going crazy, like, at the end of the day, ultimately, KOC is also a pretty good damn head coach. You need to get him extended. That's the most important contract negotiation probably this offseason for the Vikings, to make sure you keep the coach that has kind of made every quarterback look great in the system. Kirk Cousins obviously was pretty established, but he looked great in the Vikings offense. Even when he went down, Josh Dobbs looked great when he came in for a couple games until the defenses figured out, where he's limited. And Sam Darnold is having this resurgent year. So again, I don't think it's that complicated. You franchise tag them. Also, when you franchise tag them, the other teams then can spend their money on free agents. And then if you even want to offer them a deal that's like 3-year, $100 million, where you're going to get them at 30-something million and you guarantee the first 2 years of the deal, that even makes sense. And you still keep McCarthy because then after those first 2 years of that new deal with Darnold, McCarthy would be entering year 4, and you would still get a full season of McCarthy on this rookie deal. Plus, you could pick up the 5th-year option. So it gives you 2 years on a rookie deal with McCarthy to see what you got with him. That's if you're holding him, wait till then. But again, you hold the leverage as a Viking. So I don't like all this stuff. People saying like, oh, they're willing to talk to Darnold and see what would be best for him. Like, it's a business. They're not trying to be best friends here. This is work. This is a job. If the Vikings were in cap hell and could only offer him $20 million and some other team came over and offered him $40 million, he's not going to think what would be best for the Vikings. He's going to do what's best for him, as he should. So the Vikings need to do what's best for them, as they should, and for their franchise. I think that's franchise tagging him, or at least holding that as leverage until the other teams spend their cap. And then you say, hey, Sam, so you can either play this year at the franchise tag at $40-something million, or you can sign this 3-year deal with $80 million guaranteed, $40 million the next year. And I mean, maybe that's a high number, not 80 guaranteed, but 60 guaranteed. So he can make an extra 20 for long-term deal, or he, bets on himself, does the franchise tag at 1 year, and, bets that he'll have another good year and get a bigger contract afterwards. So not that complicated. That's my take. Let me know what you guys think.